These days, whenever you hear news about Starbucks, it is probably about unionization of their workers. Coffee giant Starbucks has recently become the focus of labor union organizing. So far, the union has organized over 245 Starbucks stores. Starbucks is vigorously fighting unionization. The company brought back founding CEO Howard Schultz for a third stint to fight unionization. The union is showing signs of success in their efforts. But Starbucks is fighting back with what the union calls scorched earth tactics. So what does this mean for Starbucks? What does this mean for labor? What does this mean for consumer prices? What does this mean for the US economy? And what does this mean for the future of the United States? But before we get into all of that, please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. This fall, Starbucks workers are busy trying to organize unions for their workers. For the first time ever, hundreds of unionized Starbucks workers are expected to start collective bargaining with the company. Starbucks workers at other stores will continue to decide whether or not to unionize. 300 Starbucks stores have unionized versus 0 unionized 1 year ago. 80% of the stores that held a unionization vote have voted to unionize. In the past week, Starbucks locations in important cities voted to unionize, including Washington, D.C., Albuquerque, New Mexico, and Westlake, Ohio. Starbucks baristas have transformed a grassroots campaign into a national labor movement. But to put that in perspective, unionized stores make up less than 3% of all stores. Because Starbucks has over 9,000 stores around the United States. And unionization progress is slowing. The flood of activity in the first half of the year, with a high of 71 petitions filed in March, gave way to a summer lull, with 8 petitions filed in August. Union organizers blame the slowdown on what they call scorched earth tactics by Starbucks. Founding CEO Howard Schultz returned for a third stint in order to lead the fight against unions. And he has taken quite a number of approaches to aggressively fight the union. This includes a barrage of anti-union messaging, one-on-one meetings with key employees. And it also includes announcing raises and better benefits exclusively for non-union stores. It also includes workers who lead the unionization efforts. Starbucks is being charged with violating the federal labor laws. These laws enshrine workers' rights to organize. Starbucks is charged with more than 325 unfair labor practices. The National Labor Relations Board, NLRB, is investigating the charges. The NLRB has filed 35 official complaints against Starbucks so far. Specifically, they cite coercing, threatening and firing employees over their union activities. And also withholding wage increases and certain benefits from workers in stores that have unionized. Starbucks denies all of the charges. We respect our partners' right to organize but believe the best future is created directly with partners and not a third party, Starbucks spokesman Reggie Borges said in a prepared statement. Union organizers think that Starbucks' scorched earth tactics are working. Starbucks CEO Schultz says that employees don't need a union and that Starbucks has always provided for them. This includes competitive pay, health care insurance, free college tuition, as well as other benefits. Schultz also granted employees credit card tipping. Many baristas are focused on tipping in their demands. Starbucks credit card machines do not allow customers to enter a tip on their credit card charges. This is different than most cafes and dining establishments in the United States. But Schultz stipulated that the new pay hikes and benefits only apply to non-union stores. We do not have the same freedom to make these improvements at locations that have a union or where union organizing is underway, Schultz told Starbucks shareholders. Not surprisingly, the union complained that Starbucks was holding benefits hostage. Workers accused Starbucks of misleading employees and violating labor law. Starbucks, of course, is not being stopped by these accusations. There are now financial tools to help employees save and invest. And also to manage their student loan debt. So now, workers at unionized stores are not always seeing the point of a union. They kind of get a little angry because they're like, well, how come we're not getting these benefits? Said Galen Berg, a union member. But turnover among Starbucks workers is high. And organizing is more difficult because new workers come in so often as others leave for college and other life pursuits. The new workers are not as knowledgeable or determined to make fundamental changes. The raises and benefits that Starbucks is giving non-union stores could be taken away at a moment's notice, Berg pointed out. They are fighting not only to get everything that's been granted to non-union stores, but to have all of it written into a union contract, Berg added. There's definitely some security in having that union, says Berg. It's like insurance. Many Starbucks workers see the unionization fight and fear that they could lose their jobs. We're terrified, says Buffalo, New York barista Jasmine Lely. We just want to go to work like everybody else and do our jobs and not have to worry about when the other shoe is going to drop, Lely continued. So far, Starbucks has fired over 100 employees that they suspect to be union organizers. The federal government is investigating these charges as well. A federal judge ordered Starbucks to reinstate the 7 workers in a Memphis store. Those fired had violated company policies, Starbucks said in a statement. But the National Labor Relations Board does not have the power of a federal judge. For example, the NLRB cannot fine companies for unfair labor practices. The penalties for breaking the National Labor Relations Act are quite weak, and that's a huge problem because it doesn't really serve as a deterrent, says Rebecca Given, Associate Professor of Labor Studies at Rutgers University. Employers decide that it's just worth it to break the law because the consequences are fairly mild, Given continued. At the store level, union supporters have concluded that Starbucks just doesn't care about labor laws, Given also noted. All the negative publicity surrounding the company's anti-union activity doesn't appear to have hurt its sales, Given noted. Starbucks reported record revenue in their Q3 earnings call. Starbucks clearly has strong customer loyalty. Schultz reaffirmed forward guidance of 3% to 4% annual store growth for the next 3 years. Schultz has already appointed a successor CEO and is preparing to leave his position within 6 months. So far, 3 Starbucks stores have started contract talks with no store close to a settled contract. We look forward to these negotiations and hopefully setting dates and securing locations for contract bargaining, Starbucks said in a statement. There are also non-economic issues related to health and safety and non-discrimination in the workplace. Starbucks employee turnover rate is 65% versus up to 400% for typical companies in its industry segment. So, Starbucks employees have more skin in the game and are more engaged in the industry and the company. People love working at Starbucks, says union organizer Chris Chafe. CEO Schultz claims that there are only a very small number of disgruntled employees. CEO Howard Schultz was actually raised in a poor, working-class neighborhood in Brooklyn. What does this mean for Starbucks investors? Starbucks stock has lagged the S&P over the past 5 years. Please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.